One. Hi, I'm Mike Morales. You're watching Sipping Off the Cuff, a special edition with our guy in Southern California, Rick Levy. I'm Mike Morales here in San Antonio. This is Sipping Off the Cuff. Rick, I'm so happy that this happened. We had gotten such a wonderful response from Jake Lustig, who is the, as you put it, the curator of ArteNOM, Seleccion ArteNOM tequilas, that he immediately sent us the newest version. Check that out.
Yes,
That
beautiful.
that is
I actually have a new title for Jake tonight.
oh, okay. Go. What is it?
When we get into the juice.
Okay. All right. This was so fantastic. This is a Seleccion Gnome 1579. For those of you who know your gnomes or you've done some work, you know that this is coming from El Pandillo, which is also the home of Felipe Camarena, who is a member of the Camarena family. And this, Rick, I don't, I don't know if you have this nearby, but we were lucky enough. We haven't done a review yet of this tequila, Pasote, which has just made an enormous splash in the United States, and that also comes from Felipe Camarena, and who is Carlos's brother, Carlos Camarena, who we all know from El Tesoro and Tapatio now. But this guy, I thought, I gotta tell you, I think the brothers are crazy. I don't know where to go with, just when you think that they've outdone the system, they come up with this stuff. And Jake, this is his newest version, addition to the ArteNOM family. This is another Blanco coming from El Pandillo, and that is Gnome 1579. Do you want to start with? I know that you've got some special things you want to share with our viewers. So cut in whenever you want, Rick. Let's before we.
All right.
Because he was nice enough. Jake Lustig was nice enough to send us the POS, the PDF of the new POS, and this, of course, from what he's telling us. It's mountain agave from 6,079 feet in altitude. So it's at 6,000 feet. And these are, was he saying that these are,
and the distillery, El Pandillo, is in Jesus Maria, Jalisco.
Right.
At one of the highest altitudes where their agave is produced.
Yeah, for those of you who have been to his distillery, you understand that he has what we call, or what he calls, a Frankenstein Taona. And if you've ever seen it, it looks like a steamroller. It's not the stone wheel that goes in a circle that you all may have seen before, like at Siete Leguas or Suerte. This one is a modernized Taona that rolls out like a paver.
Are you seeing it on your screen?
I have. And I'm not seeing it yet, but I have seen the videos of people who have been to his distillery, and this is, I guess, his own design. There we go. That's it right there. You can see it. It looks like you're aerating your lawn or something.
Yeah.
With it.
And he built it himself. Like you said, this was a steamroller that had been scrapped, and they took it and turned it into this modern take on the Tahona.
What's interesting, Rick, is I'm not sure. I haven't had enough of his tequilas. I've only had, of course, a couple of them. But I'm wondering, a stone wheel Taona tends to give the finished product, the juice, another layer of complexity. I'm wondering if this Taona does the same thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I was wondering about that too. If there's going to be a difference between a steel Tahona versus a stone one. Maybe the stone Tahona imparts a mineral quality during the crushing process. I'm not sure. But another thing that Felipe is also doing is he's using this interesting mix with his water that he uses in the production of the tequila.
Right.
He has, let's see, he has a large, he has a lot of roof area on his distillery, and he collects all of the rainwater. And he also has a spring-fed well, I believe. And so for this tequila, for the water that's added, he's using 50% rainwater and 50% spring water.
And he's doing this with this particular Seleccion ArteNOM. I know that is the information that we have with Pasote. And
actually, Pasote is 60-40 spring water, rainwater.
Okay.
So it has a much higher spring water content versus rainwater. With the Seleccion 1579, he's using half and half. Okay. And that's also what he uses on his G4 tequila, which is hitting the U.S. Actually, I think it hit the U.S. midweek last week.
Yeah, it finally hit U.S. soil. We're hoping to get samples here at Tequila Aficionado so that we can do the whole Felipe Camarena thing. And I don't know about you, but I want to pop open this sucker now. I only have your picture on my screen right now, so I'm not sure.
Are you seeing me?
I'm not. I'm only seeing your photo, so I'm not. I know that we're kind of playing around a little bit with a slideshow that we want to present to our viewers, and so every once in a while you'll see either a dark spot or you'll see Rick's picture or you'll just see me. So we're hoping to work that out with the next few videos. And in the meantime, I'm going to use a Glencairn glass and do a little bit of the tasting here. And Rick on his side, he is a big Riedel glass guy, but we're gonna discuss glassware. Oh, that's so beautiful. Rick, did you see the bubbles on this thing? Have you turned it upside down and popped it in? This.
Yeah, tell me about the bubble that we're supposed to look for.
I am so in the old days, it was not uncommon to take a bottle of tequila and do this with it, and you'll see the bubbles will linger like shampoo, and that was a way to tell that you had a natural tequila. I'm not going to say good quality, best quality, but you had a natural tequila. Nowadays, it's rare that you see it more in mezcals. You'll see the lingering bubbles, and I love bubbles. You'll see them on mezcals, and you see them on these tequilas. I think the entire ArteNOM line, you'll see the bubbles, and it's really like these are throwback tequilas, obviously.
Yeah, and he is really pulling them from the best distilleries in Mexico.
Oh my gosh!
And we were saying in the last Seleccions that we reviewed that he was curating a line.
Right.
Well, I think we need to go beyond that.
Oh my God!
I think
he's a warden.
I think Jake Lustig is the Nick Fury of tequila.
Oh my God!
He is pulling together a band of superheroes here.
Oh my God! I love it. Hey, if I'd known you were going to go there, I would have worn my Captain America t-shirt. Oh my God. He's Captain Mexico or something. I don't know. First of all, I think it's genius what he has done. And I said this before in our previous review, that I think it's genius that he had gone to these distilleries specifically looking for their small batch stuff that you can't get anywhere else. That's not going to be a Pasote. It's not going to be G4. It's completely different. And I will tell you, even though you and I have not had this, we haven't done the review on Pasote. Alex has a full set of these, but I've had enough Pasote, and I've had just a little bit of this one, and we just cracked it a little bit, that they are not the same tequila.
You can certainly tell the difference. Yeah.
Yes, and we won't go into this one because this is not Pasote's evening. But what I will tell you is that this one is really different. Now, you said this was a 50-50 rainwater and well water.
Spring water. Yeah.
I think that some of a lot of what we're getting is in the distillation as well, and I know, like, I'm getting wow, holy cow! I just on my first pass I got a little bit of yeast, not a whole lot, but then it's gone, and I'm really a big fan of this particular Glencairn. We have 3 different styles that the Glencairn company was nice enough to send us, myself and Alex, and so we feel that tequila has outgrown this Riedel glass, and really needs. I think every region deserves to have its own glassware, and so every once in a while you'll see us see if we can pull out the same similarities or differences using different glassware, because we know that it makes a difference.
Mm.
Wow. Oh, wow. There's that mint and there's that fruit. I'm getting fresh agave. I'm getting citrus as well.
Yeah. Yeah. It smells incredibly fresh.
Wow. Wow. Holy cow. Once you get that initial whatever, the gases or alcohol or whatever that just,
Yeah. It's opened up.
yeah, just once it opens up, it's amazing. Am I getting like a cinnamony kind of? You know what this reminds me of? Do you remember? Have you ever had Charbet?
No.
Charbet is distilled at Carlos Camarena's distillery, and it's again very, very small batch, and the nose just barely reminiscent of the Charbet tequila, but we haven't. There's a surprise involved in the nose belies what it is, what the flavor is about, and I can't wait to jump in here because. Oh my gosh. Wow.
Yeah, they're just the nose and the palate, they're tied together so closely. I've been trying to develop my palate and my nose for this, and yeah, they're just completely intertwined.
There's a definite fruitiness at the very top, and it's I want to say it's indicative of the region itself. But I don't smell, sometimes when you get a Taona tequila, you can actually smell it on the nose, and it's not there for me. So, like you, I'm not sure that the stainless steel is actually imparting another layer. It may not.
Do you know if he ferments with the crushed fibers?
I don't know that for sure. Maybe somebody out there who's watching this tonight can let us know. It says that these are stressed hillside agave plants, slowly roasted in brick ovens and macerated intact with fiber for a pronounced agave flavor. So they're at least macerated. They're being crushed, with everything. But I'm not sure if they're taking the crushings and putting it in the fermentation tanks as well. I'm not sure. I don't see that anywhere in the information. So. Who knows?
Now, are you picking up anything from the baking process? Because he also has Felipe Camarena has done this really interesting thing with his hornos, his ovens, where he has run steam lines both below, which is typical, but he's also running steam lines above as well. And he's steaming the agaves from both the top and the bottom to get a more even cook.
Well, if he's honestly, I'm not. what I have flavored, what I have sensed, and I'm sure all these elements are making a big difference. But what I have sensed is that he's doing something spectacular during the distillation process, and I'm not sure what that is. That's obviously proprietary because it doesn't taste anything like pasote.
I agree.
Pasote to me is following a particular trend that I'm seeing in certain tequilas, and maybe when we go through the review on pasote, I'll elaborate a little bit more on that trend. But pasote is a lot more funkier than this. This explodes on your palate. It's full of white
it's
pepper,
huge.
and it almost if you let it sit in your mouth and push it to the front of your gums, you'll get that lip numbness, gum numbness, but it's peppery, man, and it explodes in your palate. What are you getting on the finish?
I'm getting a dog barking next door. I'm sorry. Oh, it's just, it's big and fresh on the palate. Lots of, that wonderful pepper feeling, and it just lasts, and it's really mouth-watering.
Yeah, it's a very lingering finish, and as you can see, according to all the information that we have, there are no additives. So any viscosity that you see in the juice, and I'm not sure if you can see that in my glass, but beautiful legs and tears, and it's a fairly pristine tequila, Rick. I mean, there's what you see is what you get, and I think Jake purposely has the packaging so that you can see what it is that you're getting, and again, amazing stuff with this ArteNOM. Now, if you look at the bottom of that, you're getting all the stats, everything that you need. We always ask for point of sale material and background stuff and information, and every once in a while we don't get it. But everything you need to know is on this label. It's telling you that it's from Jesus Maria. It's Seleccion ArteNOM. There's no lote number, but the elevation, it says is it's 2,069 meters. And the bricks count, this is amazing, Rick. The bricks count is at 28.
And apparently he gets some bricks even higher than that on some of his agaves. This particular one's 28, but I think he says he gets as high as maybe 32.
Yeah, and Carlos Camarena has said that as well, that there are times where some harvests are so sweet that you're getting 30 to 32 bricks.
Yeah. And can you see these agaves?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They're huge. These piñas are huge.
They're mutants. To go back to Marvel, they're mutants.
Yeah, it blew my mind when I saw this picture. I've seen a bunch of pictures of, the lowland agaves piled in front of the Hornos, and, they're much smaller than this.
Well, it goes without saying that that's why they're growing a lot juicier. They are the stressed agaves that he looks for. You'll notice too, Rick, it looks like he's keeping a lot of the green on the piña. It's not as closely shaved as what we've seen at some other distilleries.
Yeah, there's still a lot of texture there. We've seen some where it's shaved so close it's almost just like a thin green outline.
Yeah, that one proudly displays the green, which I think helps, with some of the subtleties in the flavor profile. But I think it's also, depending on how much green they're leaving, I suppose it would be a challenge for any distiller to work with that much green on your piña. But that must be a secret. I mean, nowadays David Suro said to me once that there are two words that never should be in the same sentence: that's smooth and tequila. And and he's right.
Yes.
the more punch, the more spiciness, the more natural mineraliness that you can get, the better off you are, being able to distinguish the terroir from these tequilas. We can go on and talk about this, but I gotta tell you, Rick, I think we got another Brand of Promise nominee here for 1579, and we got our work cut out for us because I'm not sure how we're gonna grade this. What I will tell you is that this is a beautiful, fresh, fruity, very fruity on the nose, but beware the pepper. Beware the pepper on the palate, because it does.
Embrace the pepper.
Yeah. Well, brace yourself. The pepper is coming. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And we were saying that you don't want your tequila to be smooth, but this isn't what I would call harsh either.
No.
It just has a lot of character.
Yeah. Well, and there's a difference between being harsh and having character, and I think that it takes distillers like Carlos, Felipe, and all those other wonderful distillers that are out there that are making quality juice, that they can tell the difference between a smooth tequila and a tequila with character and with complexity and layers, and this has got it in spades. But here's what I'm going to tell you. The only thing that would disappoint you is if you're looking for a tequila to taste like pasote, this is not going to do it for you.
No.
Not happening. Give that dog a bone, man. It's funny because sometimes I get my cats will walk on the table. You see a tail walking by. This is definitely worth looking for. Is there anything else that we should know, Rick, that you think that would be very important for our viewers to keep an eye on before we sign off?
Well, it's just, it's wonderful that Jake could get one of Felipe's, a juice from Felipe in his line, because Felipe is just really one of the most innovative, masters of tequila out there.
He's a mad scientist, man, because the
That's
stuff
right.
he's doing, I don't know how. If it were illegal, he'd be arrested. That's all I can tell you.
Another thing he's doing differently with Seleccion 1579 is that he's aerating it before it goes into the bottle.
Okay, I've heard that technique used particularly with tequilas in the Amatitan area. For some reason, the mineraliness distillers or distilleries prefer to have it aerated. I love that mineraliness, so I'm not sure what that does. I guess that's rounding out some edges, maybe.
Probably. Would it get rid of some of the methanols?
Could be. I know it's a technique that there are some brands that are using it, but I see it more in brands that are being distilled in Amatitan. And I've always said that Amatitan, even though it's kind of lumped in with the lowlands, it really should have its own region. I mean, those of us who have had enough of these tequilas will tell you that every microclimate really has a different terroir, and it's going to taste differently. And Amatitan, for me, is one of my favorites because there's a natural mineraliness that comes through in the tequilas that may or may not be to someone's liking. I think it's an acquired taste, probably like a true Tahona tequila, like a stone wheel tequila. A lot of people don't like the smell of the rock, as they call it, la piedra. I love it. I love it because I think it adds another layer of complexity. And you and I have both had Fortaleza, Los Abuelos, which to me is just right up there with all these other ones. But this one,
and you can pick out that stone Tahona quality with other Tahona tequilas as well, like Suerte.
Well, Suerte, Siete Leguas. Siete Leguas, maybe not so much with Patron. They claim that they're using it, but who knows? People that have gone there have told me that they are blending it. They're still doing it the old way, which is Siete Leguas and Patron are so closely tied together, in a terrible story in history. But the techniques they're using are the same. The only difference is that there's
one has to produce a whole lot more juice than the other.
yeah, and the other one just keeps on trucking, man. So, congratulations, Jay. Congratulations to Felipe Camarena. Again, a Brand of Promise nominee for Seleccion, ArteNOM Seleccion 1579. Go find it. Go find it. And I would say, do yourself a favor. Get yourself some Pasote and G4 and really, really experience everything that there is with Felipe Camarena, because the guy's a crazy genius, a nut. I'm Mike Morales here in San Antonio, Texas.
Rick Levy in San Diego.
And you've been watching a special report on Seleccion ArteNOM, a special sipping off the cuff with Rick Levy, who's been gracious enough to help us out tonight. For whatever reason, if you like to subscribe to our YouTube channel, look down below for that red button, hit the subscribe. Tell us what you think. If you've had all three and which ones are your favorites, let us know. Again, as Alex would say, sip wisely.